big boob here.
Hello, and welcome back again to Roll Initiative. My name is Dave, and yes, I am a dungeon master for a group of friends that get together and play D&D. So let's kind of do a recap here, guys. Last time we were together, Oriana, you experienced a vision. As your mother called it, as you were a child growing up, she called it seeing. You had a vision of the actions that could be taken that would kill everybody here. As you experienced it, Kari's death, Leah's, Rowan's, Rufus's, you came out of this trance where you looked down and saw all your friends still alive and well. Voicing your concerns that the actions that were being discussed to take would result in your ultimate demise, you guys chose a different path. As you were discussing how to take care of the situation, you heard yelling coming from a room that was farther south from the throne room. You all made your way down there, finding a single imprisoned LOA soldier, both hands chopped off. Looks as if they were removing flesh. He explained to you that he was an original guide and protector of the doctor. Once he found out what their plans were, he tried to rise against them and was thrown in his cage and tortured. He also told you of a sigil, teleportation sigil that sat there that took you to a church in Port Gascoigne. Thinking of your options, everybody decided to go. You took on the responsibility to take this Dulcis and attempt to destroy this temple and make it out alive, which you barely did. You also found that when you did become conscious, your ability to go into your fairy form is not working. You're unable to do it. You guys met up with Wakanga again, who was calming the crowds. First thing you saw was just despair, bodies, these townspeople stacking these bodies, murdering the remaining LOA guards that were there stationed. Wakanga took you to his home. You rested. Rowan stayed by your side along with Wakanga as Kari, Leah, and Rufus made your way to the ship. Finding it right where it was, you also noticed the rest of the docks were very bare, besides a few of maybe the townspeople's small fishing boats. They seemed to be left. You guys left port and basically circled the island just to see how far Obsidian went. Sailing around this, it was death and carnage. Pools of fish, dead fish that just floated with the waves. You saw Obsidian just basically had the whole southern part of the island. All nature, all trees, everything gone. You guys did make it home, sailed home. Finding a stark difference. The port was full, supplies being brought in, but also many wooden coffins. The grassy shoreline now just filled with wooden crosses that stick in the ground of all the dead that have perished in this dark rising of Azrak. You guys went to the R&R where you found Halcyon, Gibbon's nephew, trying to do his thing, where Halcyon informed you that before Gibbons did pass, he used his savings to finish the R&R. So now it is a fully functioning 3-story tavern and inn. You guys had a cheers to Gibbons and Heisa. As Leah, you then began to play and entertain. It's been a while since you did it, and you it took a weight off your shoulders being able to do that. The rest of you, I am assuming, kind of hung around the bar for the evening until resting. We will start after a good night's rest, although it wasn't as good as you'd hope it'd be. Your sleep was fluttered with nightmares and memories of what you've experienced over the last 3 months. But you do all wake, where food is awaiting all of you at the bar, and Halcyon is working away. So, what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna go up to Halcyon and find out if he wants me to play it all today, and if so, when.
Oh, please, it's been nothing but that other situation. I mean, out of respect to Gibbons, I think it would be wise, Rufus, to allow him to continue to entertain your perhaps.
That's what I was going to ask you. Gibbons nephew.
You never really asked for a name.
For some reason, in my head, I thought it was Nathaniel.
I've got it somewhere.
Oh, do you have it? It's been so long. If you have his name, Halcyon basically looks and goes, "Sir, I've always referred to him as Gibbons' nephew. That's about as close as I am to him." We just,
we don't have to go by sir around here, but everyone deserves a name.
I agree. But yeah, perhaps keep him maybe here once a week, maybe twice.
Jonas.
Okay.
Daniel Jonas. Close.
Yeah, they both start with J's, man.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, you playing last night, you managed to make it's not real busy, so 5 silver total in tips.
Halcyon, have you gotten any word from Daggerford by chance?
No. Since they did what they did to me, I prefer not to. I do know the Duchess is doing her, what she likes to call her strict reign over that area. Seems to be kind of what the Lords of Alliance are looking for right now. Since you've been gone, the WAS, Lords of Alliance, or WS are actually in a conflict, you might like to call it. LOA believes after the disaster and darkness that has taken place that the WS would sit better under their control. Of course, Gilbert highly disagrees, and they've been going back and forth. From what I understand about Gilbert, he's not one to mess with. He knows more people than I ever knew he did. So that's the situation there. I got the guards lifted for a while. I mean, business didn't really find it necessary to have 2 guards constantly standing outside our doors. I'm sure when business picks up, if it does, that'll be something we'll just have to deal with.
Yeah. Why do you think business has been so slow?
Well, because, quite honestly, everyone, almost half of our regulars are now resting on the shore. There was a lot were taken.
Do we know where Gibbons is buried?
Yes. I can take you to it if you like.
Yeah.
He takes all you guys down the hallway, out the back door of the tavern, a nice garden area where he had a nice stone babe there. And he also put Heiza there too. They were friends after all, and I felt it was appropriate to place them together. And it's a nice garden, real nice garden. I mean, he takes care of himself real well.
I'm gonna druid craft some lilies over both graves.
She's standing there. So, very nice. Yeah, he's here anytime you like to. I thought you wanted to keep him close to home. I know you want to be close to home.
Meant a lot to us.
And it's there, and he kind of just says, well, can't leave the bar empty for too long. You're welcome to do whatever you like. You're home after all. I'm gonna go tend to business, Rufus.
All right, I think we're going to go ahead and see Gilbert.
As he kind of makes his way back into the tavern.
Conversation.
Is there some kind of magic I can cast upon myself to go back to small?
You try to do your magic, it don't work either.
Oh,
Oh.
She's stuck.
so and I don't automatically go back into small size because it's only supposed to last for 8 hours.
No. She has radiation poisoning.
There's something happening.
Yeah. So I have to go find something.
Give me.
Witch doctor.
I guess it can be done. Give me an arcane check.
Still find a witch doctor.
19.
You kind of stand there yourself and kind of focus on your energies for a moment. You feel on it. You've heard of stories where there's been mages and those who work with magic who have lost their skills for some time. There's been many different beliefs on why. Some mages believed severe trauma could cause this, an almost separation from yourself. Every story you've ever heard, though, it does come back in due time, but it is just something for some reason. The connection with magic sometimes gets a little fuzzy.
Well, just write it out.
So you're at your full
Nice to
size.
have you full size for a bed.
Yeah.
Can't do any spells, but hey, I'll use a weapon.
So what do you guys want to do?
So I don't
Let's
look
go
around town.
talk to Gilbert.
Let's do it.
Yep.
So you guys make your way through town. Again, no decorations for midsummer. Walking through and trying to make eye contact with people. It is still this thing where you don't feel as personal. They just kind of look and just look down. There's just a down kind of feeling. You get a couple that say, "How you doing? How's it going?" But it feels very kind of contrived, somewhat. Like they're just trying to figure things out. You still see boxes being brought in. The medical area, as you kind of walk by, it's an open triage now that's sitting there. That was looks like it was just makeshift to put up. There's still beds full with linens pulled all the way across where you can tell there's bodies underneath them. So cleanup is definitely still happening. You guys make it to the North Ward. No guards, like usual. They'll stop. You just kind of walk through. Now, when you get up to the doors of the WAS, there's 2 guards standing there. Look pretty bored. Kind of lean up against the wall. The other one's kind of just messing with his dagger a little bit in the air. Looks like he's trying to hit insects with it. Just anything to bide his time as they kind of look at you guys. And, we got some live ones, huh?
Where's
Safe.
Gilbert?
On the side.
Can we see him, please?
Well, can we find some manners, ma'am? I don't believe I was rude to you a bit. In fact, I try to be quite jovial considering the whole situation. You know,
Considering everything that's been going on, what my friend meant to say is we'd like to request an audience with Gilbert. Now.
But you're not wearing a patch, right?
No.
Give me intimidation. You can help me. Whoever wants help.
Gladly.
Let's tag team this.
Yes.
Eight. Okay.
So you see, the guy kind of looks at you,
Rolled a 6.
No.
puts his dagger into, sheaths it up. You know, Rufus, I guess ass will never leaves even as you get older. I'll go find Gilbert for you. Would you all mind just waiting there for a moment, or is that going to be too much of an inconvenience?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, wait.
He walks inside. Takes about 10 minutes. And there comes out Gilbert. Looks a little different the first time you saw him. Gray bearded, still bald, still real sweaty. As he kind of walking up, he's still dabbing his head and everything. Dressed differently too. He's wearing almost more of a leather armor type instead of the suits. He looks more militant for some reason as he steps up. So you survived, huh? I had a chance to speak to Gibbons and Heise, so I'm very aware of where you went and obviously what you've done. So, yeah, we do have things to talk about, don't we?
Just a little bit.
Leads you through, closes the door behind you. From your first experience in this place, when you walked in, it was like a carnival almost. I mean, just weapons in these glass cases and steel cages all sitting as just open to view. Now you see black cloths that cover these once displays. As he walks you down this long hallway, opens up that same door where he steps inside, a long table, nice clay casters of wine and water, fresh fruit. Have a seat. And he kind of sits down. So, Couple questions, if you don't mind. I know you were in Chult. What of Obsidian? Has it stopped?
As far as we can tell.
It's not growing any longer.
Azrak?
Like I said,
We can't.
it's not a confirmed kill, but
Obsidian did stop, correct?
seems quiet.
Yes, from what we could tell after we left, we took a boat around the island and looked, and it looked like it had stopped growing.
Then he is gone for now.
For
Anything you could tell me? I'm very aware of the situation. It's no longer all of it. It is part of the WAS's job, among other factions, to be aware of certain things.
And Vecna? You know Vecna's back?
That's what the Soulmonger's purpose was. You see, I was not aware of the corruption in the LOA until it was too late. But you have to understand, this started 9 months ago. And we missed it. It started with the theft of an ancient tome. You see it in Mirabar. Celine believed, since his family had kept his tome safe for hundreds of years, not to turn it over to WAS. I respect Celine, I respect his leadership, and I've known him for a very long time. So I allowed him to keep it there hidden. I didn't realize that the theft would occur and it would be handed over to a Dr. Franz. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of meeting this man, but he was a little off his...
Not my favorite doctor.
But you understand, his tome is only the first step. By bringing Vecna will bring the Book of Vile Deeds, cause 5 years of tribulation, and eventually the Dead Three will wreak havoc on all the material plane. So you see, it's utmost urgency that this situation is corrected the best we can. That's why I'm asking these questions.
So
Do you know anything of this theft? Any information you heard? Anything? Did Dr. Franz ever mention his connection? Anything that I can go on?
Are we shooting looks or what? What are we doing? I'm kind of like, let's just get it open.
Yeah. You tell us what we need to do to get this stopped.
Yeah. So it's about that.
About what?
About the tome.
So you know, you have some information.
Yeah, we all do. We didn't know what it was. We were offered very, very good money from the LOA to retrieve it. See, this is why keeping us in the dark is not going to work from this point. We need to know what we're up against.
And you see, his handkerchief, he just really starts sweating profusely as he's just dabbing his head. Beard kind of was in his pulls his beard and he just sits back. He goes, okay. Well, I suppose you remedied the problem, though, correct? I mean, you kind of took care of the wrong, right?
by blowing him up, yes.
Sort
And
of.
after
best as we
causing
could.
thousands of deaths, I'm glad you
Is he
were able to
raising
make
his voice?
amends. Well, yeah, you can see he's a little frustrated. This guy sits back and goes, give me a moment, please. Because no matter what, I have to look at it this way, the ability to steal a tome from the leader of Mirabar, from his own home, and be able to successfully frame his son for it, hand it over to the LOA, collect your money, sight unseen.
Yes, man.
I'm actually quite impressed, to be honest with you. It's you know, we all make mistakes.
We did not frame him. We just left it.
I mean, we all make mistakes. At one time, I wasn't
That's
necessarily on the right path, and I corrected it. Okay, so we cannot stop this run. We can only take preventative measures and be ready for when it happens, which is going to have to be claiming certain items from all over the material plane. We want to beat them to the punch, basically, at this point. And now that I know the LOA probably has seekers of these items also is the uttermost importance that we get there first.
Well, since we stole the other thing for the LOA, I'm sure they're gonna come knocking at our door.
I don't know we did it. If you keep the secret between us, we'll go hunt the other 5 items for you and get them back here first.
The LOA would.
I don't think bribery is the right thing at this point in time, darling.
Okay. Well, if they're coming for us, then we have to fend off
What
2
do we need to
things.
find?
The LOA looks at you as allies, I'm sure, unless there's
Oh no.
other things I don't know about.
I'm sure we've.
I don't know. How much did you know about Chult?
I knew that the book was delivered by the doctor. I know of that. As far as
We only encountered a few pockets of LOA soldiers.
Some not so happy.
Some probably not around anymore. So
Yeah,
I think
maybe
that's
they
where
haven't
Gilbert's going.
Been able to tell
We
the
still
story.
have cover in the LOA.
They do.
They still consider us employees.
They do. Ish.
So,
Why, what do you mean,
thinking?
ish?
We pissed off a handful.
They were all on Chult.
Yeah,
they
a handful
may not
on
know.
Chult, yeah.
They're probably gone.
They might be
So
dead
hopefully-
or...
hopefully, the message is stuck in the Chult.
first things first. If we are going to work together, then it's complete transparency on both ends. Don't double deal.
As long as you let us know what the stakes are.
WAS is part of a very ancient faction called the Knights of Del Sorah. Delsorrah. She is the goddess purity.
Okay, so
Good.
Who is what?
Goddess.
Goddess of purity.
But who is?
Del Sorrah.
Oh, she is Del
Yeah.
Sorrah, and they're the Knights of her.
We have been doing her biddings for hundreds of years. I was first brought into the Knights during the Trinity War with Theniel. See, my home was actually Tearaway. I ran from battle and was executed. But she saw something in me, something pure. Rose me from the dead, and I've been serving her ever since. The Knights have connection all over the material plane. I would like you to do the Knights a good deed. We will equip you with the proper armor, proper weapons, and if all goes well, and you succeed, you too will be knighted as part of this faction. But understand that is a commitment, and it requires, again, no more double dealing, no more transparency. I mean, all transparency, excuse me. Yes, you're good at the no transparency. We want to go more
Behind
transparent.
that back, you got it.
If it's something you guys may want, the first thing we need done is an assassination.
I thought we were hunting down items, not assassinating people.
Well, have you ever heard of Midgard?
No.
Yes,
And how have you heard of it, Leo?
that's where I'm from.
Okay, so you know the area. Then you will know of Prince Naboo.
no.
What did
Never.
Naboo do to you?
He is one of the undead and probably the most powerful vampire in
Oh.
Midgard.
Not
He has
powerful.
been compared to Strahd, who only shows himself once every 100 years. Naboo now runs his kingdom. The knights need him exterminated.
Oh, so it's fine, guys.
Extermination is a much better word than assassination, and when it comes to things like vampires, that's
You see,
definitely more accurate.
when the years of tribulation begin, and the suffering and the torture, he'll be the first to bring his armies to do the bidding of the Dead Three. All we're trying to
You
do.
could have led with that, Gilbert. It makes it so much easier to sell us on the assassination, extermination, rejuvenation.
Annihilation. Destroy.
Do you know what it takes to kill him?
I will give you all the books necessary to understand how to kill one of the undead. You'll have complete access to our library. The WES and the Knights
And how
Library.
long of a travel is this going to be to Midgard?
That's the only thing. To get there,
I'm sure it's not the only thing.
it's actually not of the same realm as Faerun. So you will travel the sea. Star Sea is far west
For me to try.
until it seems to end.
Yeah.
Then you will cross over into Midgard.
It's a long trip.
Many who have traveled there say it feels as if you're floating in nothing, in air. The ocean disappears. Some have come back mad from it. They talk of wailing voices and screams and tauntings from interdimensional creatures that they can't explain. But once you pass that,
It's not so
you'll
bad.
find Midgard.
Oh, we've got.
You show us how to get there?
You know the
We
path
take
of the
one
ocean.
of the teleporting.
Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, Gilbert, in full transparency,
Probably not.
Yes.
just show them that weird thing we got in the bag that we might need some help on figuring out how to use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I think it's time.
open a little pocket, pull out a tiny little box. Oopsie, nothing I can do about it now.
He
You might
his
need a.
glasses and eyes look open. How the hell did it get so small? This
When-
appears to be a cubic
Okay.
gate.
Gilbert, she was tiny. She's suffering
Well,
from a
then-
little shock. She can't, at the moment. Be sensitive, please.
She has height issues.
Right. See, he's wearing. You notice on each finger he has rings, different colors, different type of gems. So he kind of sits it there. Just takes his ring, and you watch it bamf. It's normal size.
What?
So you have
Same
enlargement.
power you got.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
Bam, her
bam
power
me
powers
back
back.
into my powers.
and if you don't mind me asking,
Bam going on.
where'd you come across the cubic gate?
Not it.
I was to say that there's so much happening.
Someone else's tale to
Hold
tell.
on.
I know. I mean, I could.
Hold on. No, give me a moment. Let me
Oh, I don't
try.
know. He doesn't know.
I can tell you how to get it if you want me to help you out. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Hold on,
like, I don't
remind
even
me.
remember.
It was with the Colts. You
Yes.
returned the sword and you didn't return the box.
Yes.
Needed
Sword is the
glasses.
key.
They were trying to open up all planes.
This was when we defeated
We weren't tasked with
Sasha.
returning the
Sa-
bag.
yep.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Sasha.
I remember her.
Yeah.
Oh, the beginning, the cult
The
situation.
Yeah,
was,
yeah. We were only asked to return the sword. The box was the prize.
Was
It was also tiny.
We
It was
still
a
don't
spoil
know
of
anything about
spoil
it.
of our war.
We didn't know
Who
what
did
it
you
was.
return this sword to? That is
Where do you think?
Come on, Gilbert, keep up.
Keep up.
It's good money.
okay.
Never, no, yeah, never was.
Yeah, but those are the Lord
That's
of
the
the Lords.
LOA.
We were getting paid. We didn't know what those
Yeah.
things were.
Well, the way I see it is, as long as
That's right.
you won't
We were
be in
lost
favor to blow any kind of cover, since the LOA do not exist in Midgard. That is a much more,
Okay.
may I say, traditionally run
That's good.
realm. Yes.
Stupid question. Will I be welcome?
Oh, yes. They have things there that will probably cause all your eyes, well, to open a bit.
You'll be welcome there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, half orcs and leaks to the concern. You see, you know how here dragons are feared, but they always seem to live in caves and count their gold, like all the stories always say. Well, you know, this Midgard, dragons rule.
Oh.
They usually have humans to do their biddings, but they don't hide and only come out once in a great while like here. They are everywhere,
Okay.
all the time.
Brings me to my next point. We got these eggs, see?
Got
How long
my
is
thing,
How long is the trip? To the portal, at
Roughly,
least.
well, to the portal will be a good 2 weeks. And probably,
Like we're sailing to the new world.
depending on you are safely making through
That's
without
the place
disturbance
you've
on
never been.
Leviathan's way,
Well, yeah, you're from so far away.
probably about another week after that.
Alright.
What, you don't go home for the holidays?
I'll incubate them as best I can. I'll stay in something big and furry and warm, and we'll get them hatched.
Sounds like
and-
that'll blend in real nice though in Midgard.
on the boat.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but once we get there, the dragons
Oh,
will be
they
good.
hopefully.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, who is the most organized of your group? I mean, who is the note taker? I have information to give you.
Me, probably.
Half workable, I think that's
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
she's a half-orc librarian. You know?
You'll be landing in Smolderheim.
Landing. Hold on.
that was from
New
Charles.
Smolderheim.
And
Perhaps when you're in Midgard, you can,
Tell us how to
if
get
time
there.
allows, stop and visit your kin.
Oh.
Did I say something wrong? Assumed you'd have possibly family to see.
No, but you did mention about time. Are we on a crunch here?
Oh, I don't expect to see you. I'll probably see you the same time next year.
Alright. So it's
This
gonna be a
is,
bit.
yes. This isn't a...
Just got the bar done. Man.
Now, is there urgency on leaving? Why don't you take a week? Gather your thoughts. Before, I will give you the information, but you have a week to truly make up your minds. Like I said, the benefits of the Knights and the WS are great, but the cost is also. This is a righteous organization.
Now, what about you all here at Waterdeep? There's like a lot of rebuilding to do.
Oh yes, I'm right now in a battle myself with the LOA. We're attempting to move much of the artifacts to an undisclosed location where the Knights will be guarding it. More than likely, when you come back next year, the WS will be no more. But I will leave word of how to find me.
So, I have a question. You said you'd help us and equip us with, armor.
Once
shit.
you make that decision,
Once that decision's made.
you have a week. Yes.
Do you have anything that could maybe fluctuate with my ever-changing shape by chance?
Well, why don't we give you information, and before I allow you guys to rest and gather your thoughts, I'll give you a small tour of exactly what the Knights have to offer.
Okay.
You will be
What is
landing in Smolderheim.
Yes.
You will find a contact there by the name of Friar Stone, human male, a cleric of sorts. He will be a guide. He will give you the rest of the information once you arrive there.
Excellent. Alright, that's it?
That's all you need for now. If you choose to take this on, like I said, Friar will fill you in with the rest of the information and will take care of your stipend. In other words, you will have places to lodge and you will be fed.
Do you know if
We don't
anybody that
expect
can
you
help
to.
our friend get back her natural state?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Time,
guess we should go.
Oh,
time, my dear.
Just
I have seen many great sorcerers throughout my extended life
2 weeks.
lose their ability, lose their connection with their magic. But it will come back in due time. Sometimes the stress of things just hinder it for a while. Now, you asked me a question, and I will answer all of yours. As he stands up, you guys stand up. That large table out there. Because if you could all please move to the side for me. As he reaches underneath, pushes this thing in his table, pushes back, and you watch as it slides back. There's a staircase that goes underneath. You may all follow me down here. You walk down. The minute you walk in, there's the smell of blacksmithing happens. As you walk down, you see it's like people live in this under here. You see this large barbarian-looking man, an anvil that is huge. As he's making these weapons on it, and pounding, he kind of looks at Gilbert, nods, keeps doing his thing. That there, it's called the King's Anvil. It gives a little extra kick to the weapons that are made. As he kind of looks at your sword. Fender, do you mind? Listen, Oscar, this big guy. Show him what I mean. She takes your defender, he lays it down there. Takes this very unique looking mallet almost, and just starts pounding the shit out of it. Flip it, pound it, flip it, pound it. You see sparks, you see bits of flame. Starts to pound it. Hands it back to Gilbert. I want you to do me a favor. When you hold this, think fire. As you hold it, and you look as this blade around it engulfs you fire on the blade with it.
Nice.
Does an extra d6 fire damage on it.
Oh.
Okay, so I get an extra d6.
Like
The
that.
fire.
Fire damage.
Yeah, on your sword.
On your sword.
Now, remember, you can't blow this fire out. Yeah, you have to think in your mind,
Not fire.
basically.
Yeah.
You don't want to sheath it while it's burning.
Yeah.
You hear
And
that?
keep in mind this,
Hold on, wait.
the fire doesn't go out until you command it to.
So an extra d6 of fire damage.
And you just
For instance, you throw it,
Stop fire.
it sticks into something, it continues to burn once you cause it to burn.
That means you can continue to do an extra d6 of fire damage continually.
Attached to it.
If it's attached to, so if I stick it in and it's on fire, then it will continue to do damage until I pull it out.
No, until you put it out.
Command it.
Or until I put
You
it out.
command it.
Oh,
Command
okay.
fire.
Okay. Cool.
So that is an example. Pistol.
You motherfucker, you better not break that shit.
And he kind of just, Oscar kind of takes his drops down there, looks at it,
Not smash it.
grabs this other weird kind of looking tool, just beats the fuck out of it. You're looking at it, it's like all bent up, not looking right. Okay?
I'll put my staff across Rufus's chest to keep him from
And then he
leaping on him.
keeps working on it different ways. He hands it back. Feel lighter? It feels super light. Okay. And when you point it now, he goes in. Think of a specific target to it. Focus on that. He points you like a circle piece of metal hanging in the background. But don't think of it, but have the gun to your side for me. You look at it, you focus, just something points right at it.
It's like autofocus.
You're like, well, you have a target now, you have to fire.
Oh.
Big blows right off the wall. So that gives you extra all the time now. When you use that, you're going to have the extra D8 for focus. So basically, it just targets. You command it, boom.
That's,
So it hits
that's
you.
for a
When you
two
go
hit.
to
Yep, to hit. Yep,
Just-
no more damage.
Okay.
Just this is going to give you sharpshooting almost in a way. So when you
So
actually get it,
D8 adds
it's
to
going to be
his
crazy.
hit
Yeah.
points, right? So
No, he
adds
so now.
Two might hit to actually hit something.
So
Yeah.
basically, when you throw a
Yeah,
D20
not
in
me
your
hit,
proficiency
but-
die, now you get another D8 to throw with it.
So 2 8s.
So it's 2
Lord.
D8. So, yep.
Yeah, good lord. Gotta put that some-
This might dear out. He sees you have weapons on you, but I don't feel you use yours a lot, do you?
No,
No, we'll help you with your magic.
no.
Maybe just return our magic.
He looks at. Here's. Let me see your quill. With your. Here's bolts, right? Not arrows, or you have both.
I have both.
Okay. They take each of them. Quickly, about 5 minutes, works on them, hands them back. Your bolts do an extra D4 on top of the D8, because they do D8s, right?
Yep.
In fact, make it a D6.
Okay.
He looks you over. You have a wooden staff, don't you?
Yes.
You can't use that kind of metal, can you?
Nope.
You make a decision in a week. I might have to bring my enchanter isn't available right now. But perhaps if you decide to go, we could do something with that staff. a little enchantment of some kind. Something to boost it up. I understand that you do not wield weapons of metal.
I prefer not to.
Yes, so you basically come back.
Alright.
We'll do something with that. So that is an example. Follow me this way. He walks you down this last thing where it's just different armor there. And you see people working on it again. Now here's what you see with them as they're working on it. It's almost like they stitch this leather type armor. Then they put it in front of this thing where these weird lights kind of just glow on it. Glow on it. Glow on it. There's like jewels that are mounted in different areas, just radiating onto this. He watches happen. He goes, he grabs one off. And you look at it, it's like way too small. You're like, no way. He goes, trust me. He throws it. Do you grab it? So he put it on.
You got the shape.
Alright.
And you guys all watch as she starts putting on. It starts just melding to her body, where it's like just fits automatically, just right on you.
Oh, I have. Oh.
And it's light as a feather. Light as a feather. Takes your armor class up permanently to 19.
Oh,
As he
God.
gives each one of you.
See?
Now you do notice.
Yeah, we all have this armor.
Yes, so all your armor class now is 19. You
Or
do,
all 19.
yep, you
Is that
do notice
temporary?
you don't need a shield. No, it's
Permanent,
permanently
right?
19.
Why am I erasing them?
So now
If
if
that
you use
makes
your
that easy
shield,
for you,
you'll
huh?
be up to like,
Just make it a yes.
with your
Oh.
shield, you'll be like at 21. won't you?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what you're saying is your actual natural armor class is 19.
19.
Okay, yes. Yes,
So-
it would be.
Since it conformed so nicely, what if I shapeshift?
Why don't you? He goes, what are you going to turn into?
Hummingbird.
No. I was gonna be a big bear. Is that wrong?
Move it back a little bit.
bear.
Yep. You turn a big bear.
Big cave bear.
You watch as your armor just grows with her. Go around.
So no matter what I turn into, I have an armor class of
I'm going to
19.
tell you it's going to be weird with anything flies.
Oh yeah, no.
That you might actually have to
That'll
pull that
go in.
off.
Well, no, it'll go in.
Yeah, go in,
Yeah.
But no, it grew with you. All your armor class is that now. But you do notice, right on the side here, on the side of each armor is a large K, and then a small D and S that's engraved into it. In the leather, not a different color, just carved into the leather.
Knights of Del Sol.
Yes.
Or Del.
Sarah.
Well, hopefully you will accept my offer. If not, I'm going to have to
Take all this back.
take all this back.
Wait a minute, though. So when she's an animal, does it look like an animal wearing armor?
Oh, you gotta redo your figurines now.
Cool.
Let
Look
me
cool,
know.
Red and
In a week.
I'll
If you
check
wouldn't
back
mind, I would like to look at. I understand you have Hyzes.
Stop.
Yes. Have you ever gone in the belly of the ship?
Didn't have much time.
You should. I think you'll find a very interesting symbol there. The ship has been equipped with the best cannons made right here.
Oh.
She was a good woman.
Yes.
He goes, and I know about Gibbons. Yeah.
You know a lot more than you say, don't you, old
I
man?
bet she never got a chance to tell you it was actually Gibbons that brought her back.
What?
When Gibbons did work for me also, a lifetime ago. He chose to want a simpler life then. Isa did her thing to the end. But if you don't mind, I want to give you time, not overwhelm too much. And you, the more you worry about it, the longer it's going to take. It will show up, and it might feel good just to be
Oh, it's right back.
you for a while, right?
I've got the first remedy. Let's go get a drink.
Let's go drink.
You guys exit as Gilbert walks you up. This table comes back over again. He stands, kind of nods, bows
So
slightly.
we'll see you in less than a week.
I do hope so. With an answer either way. Remember, I understand if it's something you don't want to do. The commitment is high, but the payoff
It's higher.
is just as good.
My understanding of commitment is something you don't want to do, but something you do anyway.
Fair enough. As he exits you out of WAS, you guys make your way back to R&R, and that's where we will end tonight's game, guys. Good game, everybody. Make sure you make your adjustments to your weapons and your armor. Now, this armor is very thin. Almost feels like a rubber type of, more rubbery, like elastic. You can wear other clothes over it. In that sense, more form-fitting type of thing. So you can actually just wear it under. Yes, in a sense, but very fashionable. You guys look awesome. It's very. All right, but no, good game. And guys, if you all liked out there, what is that again there?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. See you next time, okay?
Bye.